It's burning over $50,000 worth of fuel every single day. It's carrying a crew of 20 people, and inside its cargo hold, absolutely nothing. Empty metal boxes, thousands of them, just air. You might be thinking, that's insane. Why would anyone pay to ship empty containers across an ocean? That sounds like the dumbest business decision ever made. But here's the thing, it's not dumb at all. In fact, it's one of the most calculated, unavoidable realities of global trade. And once you understand why this happens, you'll never look at the products you buy the same way again. Section 1. The basics of container shipping. Let's start from the beginning. The modern shipping container was invented in 1956 by a man named Malcolm McLean. Before that, loading a ship was a slow, expensive nightmare. Workers would manually carry loose cargo, piece by piece. It could take days. The container changed everything. Now, goods are packed into a standardized steel box, usually 20 or 40 feet long. And that same box can be lifted onto a ship, then onto a truck, then onto a train, without ever unpacking the goods inside. This system is called intermodal shipping, and it made globalization possible. Today, around 90% of everything you own, your phone, your clothes, your furniture, traveled inside one of these containers at some point. There are roughly 180 million container movements every single year across the world's oceans. But here's the problem nobody tells you about. Trade is not equal. Section 2. The imbalance problem. Think about China and the United States for a second. China manufactures an enormous amount of stuff, electronics, clothing, furniture, appliances, and ships it all to America. A container leaves Shanghai packed with iPhones and sneakers. It arrives in Los Angeles, the goods are unloaded. Now what? That container is sitting in Los Angeles. But America doesn't export nearly as much physical stuff back to China as China sends to America. So the container has two choices. Option 1, wait around in the US until someone fills it with American exports. That could take weeks. And during those weeks, the shipping company is paying port storage fees, losing time, and blocking other operations. Option 2, ship it back empty, right now, so it can be refilled in China and start the cycle again. Almost every time, they choose option 2, because here's the cold math. It often costs less to ship an empty container back than to let it sit idle. In 2021, the cost to ship an empty container from the US back to China was sometimes as low as $400. Meanwhile, a full container coming from China to the US was going for $20,000 or more during the supply chain crisis. The imbalance is that dramatic. Section 3. Why it's actually cheaper to ship empty. Now you might ask, can't shipping companies just keep those containers in the US and wait for cargo? Great question. And the answer is sometimes, but usually no. Here's why. First, ports charge by the day. Leaving a container sitting at a terminal in Long Beach, California isn't free. You're paying ground rent, handling fees, and administrative costs every single day it sits there. Second, China needs those boxes back, fast. Chinese factories are constantly producing. Exporters need containers available right now, not in 6 weeks. If shipping companies can't provide containers in China, they lose business. Third, and this is the part that surprises most people, the ship is going back anyway. A cargo ship doesn't just drop off goods in America and stay there. It has to return to Asia to pick up more cargo. That return voyage has costs no matter what: fuel, crew salaries, port fees. So, if the ship is already going and you have extra space, why not throw some empty containers on board? The marginal cost of adding an empty container to an already moving ship is very small. It's like driving from New York to Los Angeles, and your friend asks if they can ride along. You're already paying for gas. Why not? Section 4. The ripple effects. This container imbalance isn't just a fun shipping fact. It has real consequences that affect your everyday life. Remember 2021? Supply chain chaos everywhere. Ships backed up outside ports, empty shelves at stores. A big part of that crisis came down to containers being in the wrong place at the wrong time. When COVID hit, global shipping patterns went haywire. Containers piled up in the wrong countries. Factories in Asia couldn't get enough empty boxes to ship goods out. Meanwhile, ports in the US and Europe were overflowing with full ones they couldn't unload fast enough. The result? A global shortage of available containers, not because there weren't enough containers in the world, but because they were mispositioned. Shipping companies responded by raising prices dramatically. Small businesses that imported goods saw their shipping costs jump by 5 to 10 times almost overnight. And it wasn't just small businesses. Car manufacturers, toy companies, furniture retailers, everyone felt it. All because of an invisible logistics problem that most people had never even heard of before. This is why logistics experts say it's not just about moving goods. It's about moving the boxes that hold the goods. Section 5. What shipping companies are doing about it? So are the big shipping companies just accepting this inefficiency forever? Not exactly. Companies like Maersk, Miss, and Costco are investing heavily in what's called container repositioning optimization, basically. Using artificial intelligence and data analytics to predict where containers will be needed before they're actually needed. They analyze trade flows, seasonal demand patterns, factory production schedules, even weather forecasts, to try to move empty containers to the right ports before the shortage happens. Some companies have also started offering discounted rates for backhaul cargo, basically. They'll give you a cheaper shipping rate if you're filling a container on a route that's usually empty. It's a win-win. You save money. They reduce the number of empty boxes they have to move. There are also startups trying to create container-sharing marketplaces, almost like an Airbnb for shipping containers, where different companies can share boxes to reduce empty repositioning. It's a genuinely hard problem. But the industry is slowly getting smarter about it. So next time you order something online and it arrives at your door in 2 weeks, shipped from the other side of the world for almost nothing, remember what's behind that. Thousands of ships crossing oceans 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Containers filled, emptied, repositioned, and refilled again in an endless cycle. And yes, sometimes those containers make that journey completely empty. Not because someone made a mistake, but because the global economy is deeply, fundamentally unequal in what it produces and what it consumes. And the shipping industry has to keep moving no matter what. It's messy, it's expensive, it's inefficient in ways that are almost hard to believe. But it works, and it keeps the modern world running. If you found this interesting, you'll love the next video where we break down why your packages sometimes travel away from you before they come to you, the bizarre routing logic of last-mile delivery. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And drop a comment below. Did you know empty containers were being shipped around the world? Let me know.